Hi everyone, my name is Kim. This afternoon we're going to talk about each personality type. Um, I'm gonna do each type. I'm going to talk about the grips and loops. You know, um, these are ways of kind of telltale signs that each personality type is under a lot of stress. So they go in these grips, sorry, and loops. Um, so we're going to start with the ENFPs. I'm just going to do them for this segment, and then the next video I will do another personality type. So ENFPs, um, they're enthusiastic, they're bubbly, they're just infectious people. When people are around them, they're just in a good mood and positive because that's how ENFPs are. Um, yeah, so let's talk about when ENFPs are in a grip. So when they're in a grip under stress, they go into their SI, introverted sensing. And so when they're in that function, they are just hyper obsessed with details, with routines and structures, and I know that they try to have some routine and some structure in their life, but generally they're not really like that. But when they get into the grip of SI, yeah, they've major focus on details, routine, structure, all the things that they find hard to do. Also, being an SI, they are going to be critical of others, and they're going to be critical of themselves, because SI, with those that lead with SI, they can be that way, very critical of themselves and critical of others. So, and ENFPs, they're not really into a lot of routine, a lot of structure. They like to keep things flexible, open-ended. Yeah, so because they like to have their freedom, to um, go into their creative endeavors. I mean, this is a creative type. And so when they're in SI, they can't, they can't be their creative selves, because they're so locked into SI. Everything has to be neat and immaculate. Their homes, also, their appearance, also, scheduling things, and it's like scheduling everything and structuring everything in their life, which they normally don't like doing. It takes away or stifles their flexibility, their need for freedom, their need for time to focus on creative things, but they can't do that in the grip. Okay, so that is ENFPs when they're in the SI grip. Now we're going to talk about the loops. Now the loop, when they're under stress, they go into this loop, the NETE loop. So they're focusing on their extrovert intuition, and their extrovert thinking. And they're mainly using those two functions. And so, there's no anchor there. SI is an anchor, but, because they're just using their two extroverted functions to live their life. But yeah, if they're doing that, they're starting all these projects and they're not even finishing them. They're moving from one project to another because they get so bored easily. They're using their extrovert thinking, so they're, there's an extreme sense that in another, like using NE, they get all these plethora of ideas, and so they start things. But when they're using their extroverted thinking, it's also, they're really overly logical and overly, because TE is about efficiency. So when they're in that, they become really over extreme in using extrovert thinking. So extremely efficient. It's not balanced. There's no SI there to anchor, them when they're in the loop, when under stress. So yeah, they're finishing. They're starting new projects. They're not finishing them, but at the same time, they become too extreme. They're like the efficient machines. Oh, get this out, get this idea out. Yeah, and so those two extrovert functions, when they're in them, it's to the extreme. So yeah, and SI is needed because SI is an anchor function. It balances them. SI, they need that anchor. SI is going to help. When they're in extrovert intuition, is going to help them with the details of these projects they have to do. SI is also going to, make it so that when they start this project, it's going to, it's not going to be scattered. It's going to be a step by step. And also, they're not in FI. FI is where their values are, authenticity. Authenticity, freedom. Just to mention a few of their values, FI. So they're not using FI either. So they're like I said, they're doing these projects, but they're not incorporating, FI. When I'm doing this, is this project going to reflect my values? So they're not really thinking about that. They are too, they're efficient machines, getting it out, getting an idea out, but also they're starting projects and not really finishing. It's very contradictory. They're because NE is, they come up with ideas, but NE is not about efficiency and getting their ideas out. But when they're in extrovert thinking. You know, it's all about efficiency and getting that idea out. So there can be moments of not finishing projects when they're in the loop, and there are going to be moments of that it's going to be too extreme. They're going to be like efficient machines, and not, when they come up with things ideas and not having them aligned with their FI, authenticity, the things that they value. These projects are not all about that. That they don't seem to, when they're in the loop, they're not in introvert sensing or introverted feeling. So those two are neglected. And so it's not balanced. It's not a balanced type. So that is the loops and grips that ENFPs can fall into when they're under stress. The next video, I will do another type. Anyway, I hope you have a good afternoon, and I'm going to say goodbye.